I understand from the book that when you got into your 40s, you were reflecting and almost, I think in your words, pulled to the dark side, and when boredom kicked in and questioning.
That's what happened.
True happiness.
I kind of retired at 40. I made enough money, and I just thought, wow, it's amazing. Because I had a lot of older friends tell me, retire young. So I did, but you know what? I got bored. And so what did I start doing? Hanging around with famous actors, doing cocaine, going to Vegas. And I just said, I gotta do something else. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna create another show on TV about all the amazing trainers in Gold's Gym. And I was gonna do that. So I filmed all these people, created great interviews where then all of a sudden I saw, if I'm interviewing somebody for a while, I could create a little documentary on their life. So when you're talking to somebody about their life's journey and workouts, whatever, then you ask them for pictures and videos. And when you get that, then you film those in. Because I was lucky to do a lot of commercials with Joe Pytka. Joe Pytka did over 6,000 commercials. He's one of the best directors in the world. Him and I did over a dozen commercials with him. I did 42 commercials in my life. I mean, this is what freaks me out when I look at my resume. So Joe really helped me understand when you're interviewing and talking to people, don't just have their face talking for too long. It gets boring. But when they're talking about things, if you cut in videos or pictures about their subject, it makes it more entertaining. So I started getting into documentaries. I did over a dozen of them, probably more than 20. And just when I was creating a big page to put it all in, that's when Facebook, YouTube, they all allowed videos. So it wasn't very easy to compete against that. So then I started to do something else. I created clothing, t-shirts, hats with positive little quotes on it. And I thought, that's cool, but you have to have the right marketing group to help you market stuff. And that didn't work too much. I didn't make much money, but it was okay because I was really into it. I started doing the pictures. I bought a bunch of cameras. Now I'm into doing pictures, being a photographer. So I got into that for a while. So I've had a lot of fun creating things and having different passions. And now in my life, I'm excited about getting my book out and trying to share with a lot of people in the world things that I've learned about life. And we all have to try to understand we need to exercise our mind as much as our body, especially in today's world where so many things don't make sense. So you have to understand your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create your actions. So if you're always thinking negative thoughts, you're really making yourself unhappy, angry, and you're bringing your immune system down. So you're really beating yourself up. So I'm trying to get that out there. I'm trying to get the book out there, and I'm trying to help all my friends realize, write a book about your life's journey. We all leave this earth, and if you don't write a book about your life journey, it never happened.
Good catchphrase that one is. I want to go back for a second about this boredom, because it's something I've slowly figured out about my life, and I've listened to other people talk about something similar, and I think it's really powerful, and it's something that can be easily ignored. And when you're in a position and you kind of don't know why things are happening,
yes.
If you question, I guess some people can call it having a purpose or whatever, but I'm the same. I love to be busy in the thick of it.
Yes.
When that isn't happening, and sometimes you want a little bit of peace in your life, you want to slow things down and enjoy something. But I find if I'm in that situation, sort of unconsciously, I go into this, like you, a self-destruct mode.
Yes.
And it's something that you kind of people think they want that, but then it's you fill your time with other things. Tell me a bit about that.
What I've learned when I get into that position, I started thinking, I've got to try to figure out how to exercise my mind and stop thinking these negative thoughts. So I went to the bookstore and bought all these different books about how to exercise your mind. And I really started learning, because I started also listening to audiobooks. I like The Secret. I mean, she says so many amazing things, and she makes you understand whenever you're dealing with something, try to focus on the solution instead of wallowing in the problem, because then you're only punishing yourself. You're getting so unhappy. So focus, try to find a solution to the situation you're dealing with, whether it's a health issue, whether it's you don't have a passion, you're bored. Find other things that you might like. I mean, sometimes when I'm bored, I do puzzles. 1,000-piece puzzles. It's such a challenge because you can't think of anything but finding that piece that fits in that exact place. And you would do it. The more you would do it, it's the first thing in the morning you'd start with. And I loved it. I did 25 puzzles. And I'd give them away to all these friends of mine. Not one of them did it. I would always say, listen, I just finished this puzzle. I'd put it back in the box. And they'd say, I want one. I'd give it to them. Not one person yet has finished the puzzle. Yeah.
Do you think bodybuilding as in some way has been that leveler for you where regardless of what goes on, you know, you've obviously been through some dark places clearly, but that is what is a connection to reality and because of that you've managed to stay.
We all need to work out some way. We all need to keep doing some type of cardio. You don't have to do crazy running. You could do just walking. Try to challenge yourself to get 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. You'll stay lean. It's good for your heart and your lungs and your mind. So we have to keep moving. Every day we wake up, we're blessed. Try to enjoy the day. Don't watch the news too much. It beats you up. So many things in today's world don't make sense. Everybody has their own opinion. You could watch stuff and go, whoa. So for me, I keep trying to work out every day. I try to do cardio, and I just try to enjoy. I love to cook. I love to make my food. I love to watch sports. I like to watch boxing. I like it, whatever makes you happy. And I keep trying to challenge myself to do that all the time. Because when you're sitting down, mad, angry, growling, or you're sitting there laughing, smiling, you're obviously in a better place.
One of the things that piqued my curiosity is you sent my wife all the chapters of the book, and there was one particular chapter that cut off a particular point, and I'm like, right, okay, I want to know what happened on that story. And it was
Which one?
So it was like this pivotal night with Laurie, and basically it said that you were reflecting on how lucky you felt, and but then you said everything changed after that night. So was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Like
no,
what?
It was challenging because that's when I went on a date with this beautiful girl. We went to Beverly Hills to a beautiful Italian restaurant. We had great spaghetti and meatballs. We had all kinds of good food. And when we left the restaurant, it was about 11 o'clock at night. We're in my car, holding hands, laughing, talking. I was going to either take her to my house or her house. And I got a phone call from my father. Wait a minute, my father lives back east, so at 11 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I picked up, I go, Dad, what's up? Your mom fell, broke her hip, I need you home now. I had to hang up the phone and I dropped her off. I got on a plane and went back home. My father was sitting there, unhappy. I don't want to start crying, but my mom fell and broke her hip, and she was in the hospital because her hip shattered. So my mom took care of my father and fed him, and now he's by himself for 2 days. My father's a gun collector. He's sitting with a .38 right next to his chair where he's sitting, and my father was an honest guy. He said, if anything happens to your mother, I'm not sticking around. I had to take the gun away from him, tell him I love him, I'm going to take care of mommy, don't worry. And it was challenging. And then we went to sleep, and I got a phone call in the early morning. This guy called me and said, your brother's dead. So I had to deal with that. And that's something you have to deal with. So it was challenging. I had to go back and forth and take care of my parents, and they were both in wheelchairs. And listen, we all have to deal with that at some time in your life. So yeah, that was a challenge for me.
Right.
But I learned a lot about life. I have pictures of my parents and my brother in my house. I talk to them every day. Yeah.